So yeah, let's get into like more intellectual stuff. Can you believe it? Belilar is such a good content creator. He's jaded about WoW. I understand why, but like, I'll be fine. I'll be really fine. Like something that he misses in WoW, because you can see in his lore videos that he's really passionate, but that like he doesn't have fun with the game. And I really wish that like he finds the fun that he is like talking about, you know. But enough of that. He brings the good news. So, Blizzard is saving WoW story. This is fantastic. Uh, I want to know. I want to know. I want to know. Subscribe to Bellular if you haven't. Like, this dude is a legend when it comes to WoW lore. Like, just trust me on that one.
World of Warcraft's had this problem for a long time, but today Blizzard are actually introducing a solution. Now, as an example, if you don't know what's up with these guys, or this thing, you won't know what's up with the War Within's final patch, or World of Warcraft's next expansion, and you won't enjoy them as much as you should, as you could. You'll miss the detail, you'll miss the depth, and in many ways, it wouldn't be your fault. Not really. Lore is stuck in wikis, lore videos, sorry about that, and things outside the game. And when Blizzard does do campaigns, they're often blazingly fast, and they're in a tough spot. They can't rely on the depth of Warcraft's world because they know most people don't.
Blazingly fast, depending on if you take the time to actually fucking listen to. Like, there are like, there's like a bubble on top of characters that like allows you to have like extra conversations, extra lore. And if you read the quests, like you get like a lot from that. But like you need to just like chill the fuck out and just take the time to enjoy the journey, you know?
Really have much of an idea. That then waters down the story, and that signals to you that you shouldn't really bother. But now we've actually got a proper solution. It's real interesting, and they're not doing it in a
Okay.
one-off way, which is why I'm actually excited. It's called Lore Walking, the beloved Lore Walker.
Okay, I need to just like check if my microphone didn't die, because like I will love yeah, I would like to lose my footage. Thank you.
Show is back, voiced by Jim Cummings.
Oh, well, our work is so what a legend.
Blizzard have finally found a way not just to tell you the backstory, not just to show you it, but to actually have you play it. I've also got
wow, no way.
Sponsor, you'll finally have the website that you've been meaning to build. So Squarespace has an easy-to-use site builder and award-winning templates, but they have developed so much as a platform lately. Design Intelligence is their mix of tools that help you access their 20 years of design experience easily. It starts with Blueprint AI, and that starts with a few questions. Once you answer those, you'll use their interactive design system to build your own template, just the way that you like it, but with them keeping you right, with designer-picked fonts and color palettes, all matched to your aesthetic, and then from there, you can iterate on your copy and your content. It's all seamlessly integrated. And if you've just been overwhelmed in the past, or you just want to start quickly with all of your bases covered, this set of features is literally made for you. And their core platform is always growing as well. They've got native video support, so you can have a gorgeous player, you can have video gallery layouts that are all interoperable with their e-commerce tools. It's real impressive, and when I needed sites, Squarespace was my first port of call because they make it easy. So to get started today, go to squarespace.com/BellularGaming, check out Design Intelligence, and when you're ready to send your site live, use code BellularGaming for 10% off your first purchase of a site or domain. In the beginning, Warcraft started with the story being told in the in-game manual and these funny little cutscenes. And the way it worked is playing the game created a hunger. The manual say to that hunger, Chris Mattson got a little bit more power. The sequels capitalized and all that. By Warcraft 3, Blizzard built out a lot. Then World of Warcraft comes in. It blasts the lore open. It crowds the world full of quest text. So no wonder that people fell in love with it.
I'll never not have a reaction seeing like the first cinematic, the first introduction to World of Warcraft. I'll always be amazed by how beautiful it looked back in the day and still to this day.
Lost within it. But now, for example, assuming we're going to Koresh in patch 11.2, well, To fully appreciate that patch, you would have to know the lore from the 18-year-old quests in Netherstorm, which was part of the Burning Crusade. And this problem is exactly what lore walking solves, but not in the way that, say, Witcher 3 or Yakuza 0, two 2015 games that recap their massive stories with a big old opening recap cutscene. No, WoW's is actually better. It's a playable recap, but it's not just a rehash of old content. Lore walking is actually adding in narration, new content, and it fills in
Wow,
major gaps.
no
So with that said,
way.
let's take a look at the first version.
No fucking way.
Lorewalker Joe is finally living up to his name. You'll find him sitting in the major cities, and he'll take you through a guided tour of the past, catching you up on stories woven through WoW's years and years of questing. So, here's how it works. A lore-walking campaign is a curated selection of quests from throughout WoW's history, with a voiceover from Cho himself that basically talks to you about what is happening and why it's happening. Basically, Blizzard have found a way to take old quest lines and stories, repackage them together, and then run their modern voice line driven approach over the top of all of that.
Okay, this is what I was searching for. This is what a lot of fans and people just loving the game. Not you, the people from Mythic Plus. Not you, the fucking like 2500 ranking on in arenas. But the people that actually no, you'll enjoy the game as well. But this is what we were searching for. I'm actually like redoing all the quests for my completion and stuff. But like this is what I call greatness. This is what I call greatness because this will allow for the average player to not have to fucking like go for YouTube video for you searching for obscure YouTube videos or go down to like old zones to fucking understand what the fuck is going on. Blizzard is doing the right choice because he understands the weight and the importance of the lore, and he understands that the players care about the lore of their game. And on this one, I cannot give more credit to Blizzard. This is a brilliant idea. This is a divine idea. They really never cease to amaze me.
Which basically means if you don't like reading the quest text, that's completely fine. Cho basically, well, he doesn't literally do it for you, but if you listen to him, you get a nice story. You don't have to do all of that pesky reading.
This as well, like the voice acting in WoW is actually like something really incredible, and I will take some time to actually talk about it someday. Well, like the voice acting is really fucking top notch. Is really fucking like great, and the fact that like you don't have to go over like a list or just like a bunch of like paragraph to fucking understand what's going on. It's also something that like they thought about, and they told themselves, no, we want to make the player experience, the adventure of our players in Azeroth more easier and more accessible, and this is what they did. I fucking love this initiative. I really fucking respect Blizzard Entertainment for thinking about the players, because on this one, this is how you can see that game publisher care about the players and it's not about their money or anything.
So you'll flow from quest to quest without getting a whole bunch of filler quests that back in the day would kind of confuse people, or, you know, mixing and matching between doing a random bit of a story, then another random bit, then getting lost, going to another zone, and forgetting the story that you started originally. You basically get to stay on a lovely single state of flow, doing quests that actually matter to your experience, all just one story. Now, you get rewarded as well. You'll get some endgame currencies like you do with regular world content, but also some insanely cool toys. Take a look at this. If you want Xal'atath as a permanent voice in your ear, sure a lot of people do, well, you can get that.
No way. This is the item that I want.
Just experience her story.
Xal'atath Pascal. Xal'atath Pascal. I love Xal'atath.
And you'll get that as a toy.
Marry
and
me.
What's neat is it's not just recaps. All 3 available ones have got extra content added, and the Arthas one is probably the best example. It's got whole new playable segments as Arthas. It's really neat. You get new insights into his life as a paladin first, then you run through the key parts of his life in existing quests. You experience the final showdown in Icecrown from his perspective, And it's really quite
Wow.
cool. It honestly feels like
There's
a
no
prototype for something new,
way.
and hearing that, I'm sure you want to hop in and try it. It actually feels like a new
I
experience
want
within
to
the game, not
jump
one that's
into it.
just make your gear number go up. Pretty cool.
Like wow, this is exactly what something that this is something that WoW was missing when it comes to lore. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. This is exactly what WoW needed. Like they needed something to kind of like allow the average player to connect to the lore without having to do all this like mm, let's say researches that are like outside the game to fucking like understand what's going on. And they actually thought about it. This is brilliant. This is the best news I got ever from Blizzard so far.
Cool. Now, the other ones are the obvious World Soul Saga catch up bits, but they're done quite well. There's one in the Ethereals. It takes you through the original Outland quest stuff, so you do some ancient quests while Cho tells you about Koresh. Of course, he does take the opportunity to give you some gentle little nudges, like questioning if Dementius was really killed that day in Outland. Spoilers, he wasn't. We'll probably kill him next expansion. Cho even takes you further to learn about the brokers in the Shadowlands, and, well, we've done a whole lore video on it, but basically it's the connection between the brokers and the Ethereals. It's really cool. And honestly, even just the concept of it being just a story that is, retold, but with Cho, that feels really good. I'll leave the details for you.
Yeah, because Show is quite the real man. I don't know what the fuck his Show is, but like, is a really fucking fantastic, like legendary card, like just like a emblematic. It's just an emblem of like Hearthstone. So yeah, I believe him
To
on this word.
discover. There will be an upcoming lore video and all of that stuff. But more importantly today, we need to talk about how this can save WoW's story. There's a big thing you may have noticed.
So I don't think that like the story of WoW needs to be saved, but it's more preserved. Like the fact that like there's so much beautiful stories, like the story of Icecrown, right? The story of Illidan, that like new average player playing retail will never get to experience and never get to understand because it takes you like it's either you do all the quests and you read all the fucking quests or you fucking buy a book or you watch lore videos, right? And in this, if you can, like, here's the thing, if your game can allow itself to fucking like experience the stories and fix problems within the game, this is what I call good game design and good game direction.
Looking at our footage, right? This is not just endgame. This is available to level 10 characters. You get full XP the whole time you're killing mobs and
Wow.
questing. So
On top of that, you get to fucking experience it level early. This is grandiose. This is like something that will change WoW forever. The same way but different way that player housing will change WoW. Just because player will be invested in the story for once, and they will not run through dungeons like mindlessly, not understanding what the fuck is going on.
I think here's the vision. Imagine that instead of locking fresh characters to the latest expansion, which definitely will cause issues in the Last Titan and beyond, well, use a feature like this, right, to level up your characters. And here's why I think it works in a way that Chromie Time never really could. Chromie Time was a neat way to scale the world down, but you don't really get a story experience doing it. I mean, come on, it's so absurdly fast. This,
Wait, Chromie time. Okay, so this actually, I was actually asking myself if you can like scale down some world uh Chromie time. Wow. Okay. Let me just check my voice.
though, feels like a version 2 of that, but instead of being left to
Okay.
your own devices, you get a curated, narrated story experience. That actually feels like a bit of content that's worth paying for. Currently, there are 3. We know there's going to be at least one more, and you can't imagine just picking another one and another
My
until you're
best
max
girl
level, and just
Xal
getting
get it.
brilliant
Oh
story content.
my.
And the potential here is insane. Literally, on any topic you can imagine, Blizzard can pick the quests, then let show talk the player through all of them while you get to stay in the flow just doing your questing. And if they want to add in any little lore cutscenes or updates, as we've seen them do already, Blizzard can just go and do that. And this way, they might finally do what we've wanted for years. Campaigns that include the likes of raids and dungeons. I mean, with the tech they've made for story mode and this framework, it does feel like this is the start of a storytelling revamp, the like of which we didn't really think we were ever going to get. Imagine, for example, a full Garrosh campaign. Maybe it starts in Nagrand in the Burning Crusade. Thrall meets Garrosh. Cho tells you about the history of Grom. It takes you through the key quests in Cataclysm.
And this allows for like new content that actually brings you relevant items, stuff, and like fluff. So toys, mounts, but this allows you for also like a different type of like gaming experience and this allows the game developers to actually like tell stories, retell stories, and actually keep updated anyone who wants to actually fucking understand the lore of WoW, because technically you can like play WoW and not understand what the fuck is going on at all and still like do progress, right? But some people want to, but it's too complicated. And WoW on this one really thought about the average player, and this is what I like, because I am not the average player. If you watch this video, you are most likely not the average player. But the average player is someone in between, like in teenage years to just like an average gamer that just want to have fun playing video games, and that is used to story-driven games where like things are like explained well and that are not complicated to like decipher, right? Here they actually do the effort for these players, and these players bringing these players to the community and allowing them to be more active within the community. Well, this is something that will make the game better and greater in every way, because like we miss you, average players in Mythic plus 10s. We miss you in our raids, we miss you in our PvP, and we're sad that you are struggle. We are sad that like you struggle to understand, and we're sad that we are not able to help you. Like as a guild master, like it is my biggest pleasure to help my guildmates. It is my biggest pleasure to tell them how to do stuff. And most of like the veteran players, most of the elite players are just like me, man. Are just like me, friend.
Where you get to see him unravel, right? Become, well, a bit more like Garrosh. Cho then gets to add in little details about the pressure that Thrall was putting him under. Then you hit Pandaria, you watch the fallout of Theramore, you see his madness come to light, and finally put an end to him in the Siege of Orgrimmar in a story mode like fight. And then, of course, you watch Thrall, just hit the execute button over in Draenor. So you could get that all with no fluff, and with Lore Walker Cho's brilliant voice acting to just give you all the missing bits and tie it all together. Think about that in terms of new player experience. They actually get to see a full story arc happen in the World of Warcraft, as opposed to right now where they're yoked into dragonflights and...
Yeah, and or you need to go to a low level zone to actually like start to do your questing. But the problem is that like the low level zone feel like too old. There's no players in here, and at the same time you kind of like doing this all by yourself, and you're not guided within like all this nonsense. Well, back in the day, it was during the releases, it was, well, there was that, but at the same time you had like other people that were pushing for new dungeons, and other people that were doing the world events, right, and stuff like that. Well, this is actually a revolution. This is actually a revolution.
don't really know what's going on with anything. And not to fully spoil a project we've been working on for quite a while, but this is a real problem for World of Warcraft. Having recently leveled a fresh account for a reason you'll find out soon in a video, we just as a team realized that it really does suck for a new player. Dragonflight is not a bad expansion, but going from Exile's Reach to Dragonflight to the War Within is pure insane crazy whiplash. Now, Holly recently talked about wanting to revamp the new player experience. I think this could be a fairly major part of that, and I think this could make the modern game story actually make sense to people, and to do that without asking for the dozens of hours that it takes to get the Lore Walker achievement. Because let's be real, a lot of the people who get the Lore Walker achievement have just race through the quest really quickly to get the achievement. They may not actually know all of what's going on. Here, though, you get slices of WoW's best story.
And this is the reality. It's not like they don't care or they don't. It's just that like WoW is such a rich game that like you have so much to discover when it's come to storytelling that like it was a shame. I hope this will be released soon. It's just that like there is so much adventures that you missed because you weren't there, because you quit, because you had something to do. That like this is really something that like, but the stories themselves are really fucking beautiful and really fucking like well thought out. So this is a great improvement for WoW. This is my favorite game. So like seeing like ways to access, because I will actually like undergo all the old zones questing just for myself to make it like actually fun for me and to actually understand what's going on. But the average player will not do it. The new player will not do it because it just simply don't have like the education, don't have the skill, don't have like the time to fucking do that, don't have the motivation to do that. And with this will actually bring them up to speed and like bring them to enjoy the game the same way we as elites within the game are enjoying the game, and they'll get to understand why some people are like still doing 10 mythic plus 10 and still going to the same raid where they get fucking like trashed on, just like fucking insulted for no reasons, just because they love the game so much, you know.
Story retold with more flair and in bite-sized chunks that are understandable. For the modern day, for the modern game, that essentially sounds like a perfect thing for Blizzard to have.
Absolutely.
So, what's there's great, the promise is even better, but yeah, I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but I gotta say it. We don't always have the most faith in Blizzard following up on potential here, right? Just think about the history. Now, to their credit, they're working hard to change that perception, but the track record is a little bit spotty. Don't get me wrong, they are improving features over time, but that tends to find the most success whenever they fail a few times and then kind of start again from scratch. I suppose my greatest fear with lore walking is that it happens now, and then it's kind of dropped as soon as its immediate utility goes away.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of immediate utility to this. Who knows if they'll have Arthas be relevant again, but as for the other two campaigns, well, the Xal'atath one explains a major part of the main villain right now, and
But I think that like it won't be if they are already like pushing for like old content, like the if they are like understanding what good content is and what they're willing and able, and what is allowable, like logic, like what they can allow themselves to reuse. Like the visions of Anzoth do not feel out of place within the world within. And so I think that like it's just about like the response of the players, but like I think that like the response will be great because like because there is like this silent majority that just fucking love the game, is not are not fucking degenerates that just that fucking complains all the time, and that will fucking like give them a response. At least that's what I hope, because like this is the type of content that I'm searching for when it comes to playing, because this takes me away from like all the stress and all the fucking like time investment, and like just like fun investment that I need to do to actually get what I want from the game.
and the ethereal stuff almost certainly explains the next patch. You can see there's an obvious utility there, so the fear is that Blizzard won't really make these for the sake of making them. That does concern me a little bit, but I only fear that because of Lore Walking's promise, that it could finally solve the problem with World of Warcraft's lore, to take what is not in WoW and actually put it in WoW. And this includes
And this is true. When like this sounds too great to be true, and I understand this doubts.
Countless huge moments, character stories that people would enjoy, vocal performances that could cut through and actually rebuild people's emotional connection with Warcraft. So far, there are
Absolutely.
three in game: Xalatath, Ethereals, and the Arthas stuff. And there is data mining as well. That data mining points to there being a fourth, Quel'Thalas. Now that's where Midnight, our next expansion, is
Whoa.
going to be set. And if Blizzard gets these right, it will be properly exciting. I mean, people love Final Fantasy XIV for its stories, both the MSQ and one-off stuff. And not just
Absolutely.
because it's Final Fantasy and people think about
Lore Walker, no, Shadow Walker, or like whatever the fuck. One of my guildies told me that like it was such a great story, driven over like 10 years, and the payoff was so great. Like driven over a couple of years, and then the payoff was so great. So yeah, allow WoW to fucking like in like the game developers wrote such a beautiful story. Allow people to fucking discover it easily, because the art, the miracle is already there. It's just like make it easy for people to discover it.
like Final Fantasy and narrative. No, because it tends to be really good and they've come to expect it with new patches. So, Blizzard, you can actually rebuild the narrative credibility. You can imbue all the gamey elements of WoW that we have fun playing with a new sense of meaning by getting people back into the narrative. And I think in doing so, Blizzard will get more bang for their buck. They'll turn fair weather players into emotionally invested fans. And if they want this franchise to be around for the long haul, that's what they need to do. I think this system is a perfect way to do that. And I mean, hey, you can actually say to somebody, maybe you want to get your friend into World of Warcraft and they know about the Lich King. You'll be able to say, oh, well, actually, when you make a new character, you can.
It's actually such a great news. For once, I see Bellular being happy, but I see a good news from the WoW devs. I've seen a couple of good newses, but like on this one, wow, this is really, 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 really fucking great. Like, I really, really want to fucking like check this out. Okay, all right.